Holy hell, let the lightning round commence. We're into the draft, guys. Second game, last best of 3 of the day, North America ESL One Hamburg qualifiers. Wheel up 1-zip against Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye going to take a little bit of a turn here in this second game. They were certainly a very mobile pickoff-oriented lineup in game 1, but perhaps they scale a little better with the Prophet than they did earlier on with the Puck and Clockwork.
Yep, so Nature's Prophet, Spiritbreaker, two very strong first picks. Nature's Prophet generally wins his lane, is a monster in the mid game when it comes to split pushing and looking for pickoffs, and so Spiritbreaker really synergizes with that as well. Wheel, however, they pick Lich and Puck, so Lich is that hero that wins his lane by default. You know, he really just prevents one of your cores from getting the EXP that they require. And so whenever you play against the Lich, you have one lane that loses by default, and so, well, supposedly by default. And so to counter that, you either have to kill the Lich or you have to be able to have a lineup that is okay with having one lane a little bit behind and try to catch him up later. And so Nature's Prophet's a hero that can do that because he can always jungle or he can always cut waves later. So that's one lane that Mind's Eye are okay with. But the Puck is a little bit of an interesting first phase pick. I'm thinking that maybe Wheel are just really comfortable with first picking the Puck. There are problems with Puck, because Puck has a lot of counters in the game, like Silencer, Nyx. Even Spiritbreaker is sort of decent against Puck if the Spiritbreaker is able to actually get the Puck stunned once, because once the Puck is stunned once, like the chain stun comes and then the Puck's instantly dead because the hero doesn't naturally have a lot of sustain. So Wheel, they have to be a little bit careful of what they draft here, because Mind's Eye, they have a ton of global presence right now. You have the Nature's Prophet, Spiritbreaker, and now the Global Silence. So whatever they pick here either has to be something that doesn't care about silence, so like a BKB buy or a blink user or just like a physical right clicker that doesn't need to cast spells, or they actually have to be able to like just push and not care about the fact that the enemy team can outsplit push you and stuff. So Clockwork's a bit of an interesting pick. It does help them get pickoffs on the Nature's Prophet and the Silencer. So
yep. Rocket Flare, a very good tool, as well as the hook shot against the Prophet. But I mean, if they're diligent about their vision game, they should be able to kind of keep him safe with treant blocks and things of that nature. But they do have some good clear with the Puck and the Rocket Flare, maybe opening up a window to jump on that Prophet. I like that pick, as you were mentioning. Again, though, it begs the question: where is their damage coming from? And we'll see if they kind of address that issue.
Yep. So the real issue when you deal with the Nature's Prophet isn't actually just locating and killing him. I mean, although that helps a lot, the problem is also just him being able to split push without being there with his ultimate and with his treants, right? And so the solution isn't always to just kill him, but also just to have heroes that are capable of clearing out waves safely, something like Ember Spirit or Morphling, or like a Templar Assassin with like a Lincoln's Blink or just Blink and quick movement. So Wheel, they're a little bit lacking in the split push department. They have the Puck, so Puck's a really good split pusher, but Puck has a lot to worry about this game, especially with a Silencer in the game. So Puck's going to probably get a pretty quick Yule Scepter after his Blink, or even before his Blink.
Definitely like the right build there. You mentioned the TA earlier. I really like that pick after the first 3 members of Mind's Eye, as kind of disregard the Silencer and the Spiritbreaker early on, and into the game. If he picks up that Blink, keeps his distractions up. We saw this a little bit earlier today in CIS, a couple of other picks. How do you feel that it fares here? Definitely a hero that's going to garner a lot of attention early on. Maybe is the thought process. We're gonna be able to constantly push in the lane of our own. You kind of mentioned a Spiritbreaker though being a soft counter earlier to this Brood.
Yeah, so the Spiritbreaker can actually find the Broodmother. Whether or not they're able to kill the Broodmother depends on the other heroes. But the other thing that Mind's Eye have to worry about is whenever you play Broodmother, how many resources do you actually have to dedicate to kill her? Because if it's more than 2 heroes, then the Broodmother really the Broodmother's team benefits from you ganking her, because like she usually, if you play Broodmother, you're playing in your off lane, which means they have to rotate a bunch of heroes to their safe lane, which is not the place they want to be if they want to make big like tower pushes. So you always have to be worried about how easy it is to deal with the Broodmother. And so they kind of have a good thing going for them. So you have the Broodmother, and then you have a Lich possibly helping the Broodmother, which makes the Broodmother even stronger, or you have the Lich sort of hampering another lane so that it becomes harder and harder for other heroes to help deal with the Broodmother, since they're behind as well. So we'll probably have a laning advantage right now, but
excellent point is that it makes it difficult. Once you have the Lich elsewhere, it makes it difficult to be dedicating resources to Broodmother when you already have heroes that are by default behind and do need some help in their lanes as well. Timbersaw is going to be the 5th pick for Wheel. Give them a little bit of an extra damage burst here. A natural kind of Lotus Orb builder. Wasn't too worried about the silencer. He can build his Yules of his own as well. And there's a decent amount of right click with the silencer and the Nature's Prophet to stack up this reactive armor. Really, maybe the better point there is that there isn't an abundance of burst for Mind's Eye to kill off this team.
Yeah, and now there's actually a huge problem for Mind's Eye, and now you have to deal with the Broodmother, but you also have to deal with the Timbersaw, but it's like impossible to deal with the Timbersaw unless you send multiple heroes at him. And if you send multiple heroes at the Timbersaw or the Puck or the Lich lane, the Broodmother takes over her lane, assuming it goes well. So we'll kind of, I can't say it's like a cheese strat, but it's more like a determine which terror you want to deal with.
Right, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Timber's one of those heroes you were mentioning. I think you called it statue Dota previously. And it feels like he sits in your mid lane and just whacks away at your tower, and you don't necessarily expect it because all he's doing is right clicking. But over time, he just sits in lane forever and never really gets bodied out. And all of a sudden, your tier 1 is down mid, especially perhaps with a Lich going to be allowing him to get his level up more early. It is Dota the 2 picking it up on the Timbersaw. Monkey's going to take towards more off lane. Could be Annihilate in the mid. Yeah.
I think Meepo is actually quite an excellent pick this game. There's a lot of counters to Meepo this game, but also like Meepo counters don't work when the Meepo kills you first. I think that's one of the things that is fundamental about Meepo. Meepo's not supposed to be a hero that tanks your spells. Meepo is a kill you and get out, or kill you quickly and like end team fights decisively kind of hero. And Meepo actually deals with the cores on Wheel pretty well. Like if you net the Puck, he can't phase shift.
Right.
You net the Broodmother, he can't move. And like Meepo has more than enough magic damage to kill any of these heroes. The problem is that the game is kind of tough in the mid game for Meepo, but it's still doable. I mean, there's probably been harder Meepo games like Darkseer, Sven, Earthshaker would probably be up on the list of like hard Meepo games. And
this almost guarantees though that we see Wheel put the Lich towards mid, correct?
Yeah, correct. So Meepo is a hero that catches up easily though. As soon as he hits level 3, preferably level 5, he starts juggling incredibly quickly, especially if his team or he himself has stacked some of the camps.
Interesting dynamic with that 5th pick. We'll see like how he fares.
Meepo is also sort of a timing hero, similar to like Huskar and Anti-Mage. The timing for Meepo is actually just a blink or a blink and a few Dragon Launches.
Especially in this game where just a blink alone, you have a Prophet, a Spirit Breaker, and a Global behind you to cover your initiation. Feels like Meepo, as long as he has an even half decent early game, and you mentioned his potential to come back, even if that's not the case, feels like he's slated well to at least grab up a couple kills in the mid game.
Meepo is deceivingly a glass cannon hero, like super high DPS, super easy to kill, but like as a result, that's why they go for the blink, the hex, the E-blades, the diffusals. Just rack up that damage and make sure that your target is dead as soon as possible, and then win the game from there. So we'll see if Meepo ends up hitting the item timings that he looks for this game. I mean, I
little
don't
bit
know
of
much
NA
about the
banter
break
going
Meepo,
on.
but no one picks Meepo without knowing how to play the hero. So
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully he can put on a good showing here.
See how Wheel can deal. They were extremely resilient in game 1, despite picking a Huskar lineup and not being anywhere near ahead in towards that 15-minute mark. They were able to weather the storm, take a really good fight, in the late mid game in that mid lane. Propelled them forward to be able to win that one. Baba Ganoush and Mad gonna run into each other here top lane. Both heroes TPing out. Smoked up Meepo as well, taking towards the bottom lane.
And it looks like Brood's got to be offlane, right? Because the puck's got the null.
It is Monkeys who
I think
picked
it's
it up.
I personally think it's a mistake when you put the Broodmother in a lane that isn't a side lane. Although the mid lane can work in certain scenarios, I think Broodmother excels in a side lane when the enemy has to move around the map wildly to deal with her. But in the mid lane, it does work if you have another hero that also functions really well in the side lane. And this game, I definitely think they should put the puck mid just to help deal with the Meepo, since Puck is actually a hero that can last hit and deny really well.
It is Annihilate picking up the puck, so I think you
Yep.
are absolutely spot on the laning configuration.
I mean, maybe he's going offlane Puck. Maybe Monkeys is like, I don't want to play Puck.
Yeah, he's loaded out with the Mango, so I think you're right that he'll take towards the side lane on the
Load it
Broodmother.
out.
Gold Tangos for Annihilate as well. Hopefully we can load in. Yeah, the wheel logo not quite the best.
They had like an actual like.
Yeah, they have an
sail
anchor. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sail
The
wheel.
boat. Yeah. You are correct.
You know, the thing I realized when I saw that boat wheel logo is like, I've actually never seen one of those things in real life. I think, except maybe at like an amusement park or something. But
Pretty sure the Canadian Army's got a few.
Canadian Army.
We have some of those, like, Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness.
Boats.
Yeah, those boats with the cannons,
For catching fish. Cannon. Did we actually have I won't ask too much about the Navy, but Timbersaw is actually quite a difficult hero to kill for Mind's Eye. I mean, he's always a difficult hero to kill, and there's really not a lot of early magic damage. Like, when I think about Timbersaw counters, I think of like Ursa, Axe, Skywrath, sort of. These heroes that just deal tons of damage from the get-go at level 1, and
Yeah.
there's really nothing like that from Mind's Eye. In fact, he's probably laning against a Nature's Prophet, which means the Treants are gonna end up helping him build armor stacks. And really, as long as this Timbersaw keeps his armor stacks off, he is a very difficult kill.
Yeah, they have the luxury of laning him 1v1 once he's level 2 or 3 against the Nature's Prophet. Really nice. We saw a Clockwork last game for Mind's Eye's side. Get a lot done in the early game if Wheel can answer that on Mad. If we ever play Dota tonight.
If we ever play Dota. I mean...
Started at 10 a.m. Franz, it's 10 p.m.
12 hours, huh?
Been a full, really, truly full day.
I should have made an omelet.
Should have made an omelet, man. Sorry, you had dumplings.
I soft boiled some eggs instead.
Alright, so top lane. How is the silencer so low all of a sudden? From right clicks, really?
Right clicks, man. The Clockwork hurts. 55 damage, pretty good attack speed.
Yeah, pretty good
360
animation.
move speed.
He does have the boots first, yeah.
I mean, we just saw this trend of offlaners becoming position 4 heroes just because they're so dang tanky and so dang good at trading hits. Pretty sure you're gonna see support Nature's Prophet skill up teleportation for his 5 boots and just, start hitting your supports, and then as soon as you show the courier, he friggin' teleports mid, snipes your courier, runs away. That's the future.
I'm having nightmares thinking about it, dude.
I'm calling it. And then he sniped, and then you think you're smart. You think you're smart by setting your courier to your tier 3 and dropping your items off to support, and he just snipes it there instead because he knows you're doing it.
Alright, gonna try and grab up the wave here, top lane for Beast. Actually brings in Fuzzy Sloth as well, so we'll be able to secure this bounty rune early on. Taking towards the mid lane once again. Actually taking towards bot on the Meepo. A little bit of a roll swap for Mind's Eye side.
I think he definitely wants to stay away from the Lich this game, or at least the mid lane, because he's expecting a Clockwork puck mid, which is like quite a strong dual lane, and effectively, like, Meepo wants to be able to farm his lane, but all he needs is levels. All he needs is that level 3 or level 4 or 5, and then he's pretty much good to go in the jungle.
And immediately will leave the Timbersaw to his own devices top lane. They'll allow him to have that 1v1 and try and garner an advantage in the other lanes. They do also have the Lich. Brink bottom lane is going to be joined by Baba Ganoush on the sniper, and they do have the charge inbound as well from the Spirit Breaker.
And I'd be really surprised if they can kill this Bird Mother with a Meepo silencer. It's not the most productive charge. Did 0 damage.
No sentry on this.
Now they're
these
just
three
taking
heroes.
EXP away from the Meepo, and now the Mirana is free to get cogsed. Sad life.
We alluded to this decision earlier. You're just going to kind of shadow the Meeple's movements early with the Lich and just make it a little bit more difficult to get all important levels. Clockwork in towards the mid lane. There is a leap on the Mirana though, so barring a misstep from Alien Mana Banana, it feels like Mirana should be fairly safe in this lane, although maybe a bit hard pressed to find some CS.
Yeah, it's quite a tough lane. I mean, both of the heroes mid, or sorry, the puck has like a lot more base damage, and Clockwork is almost matched. So I feel like as soon as the clock hits level 2, though, he's gonna start moving around, maybe put some pressure on the Nature's Prophet, as that hero is alone in the top lane and can't really do much about this Timbersaw.
Annihilate's figured out south. And Mirana will do the same in this mid lane. So getting decently so far is the Mirana with 6 last hits, but doubling him up. The presence of the Clockwork is Annihilate's puck. Now, as you mentioned, rotating towards top is Mad. Somehow I opened the shop there.
Yeah, he's doing the great bounty rune rotation. But might actually be able to catch his Nature's Prophet here. Timbersaw does have level 1 Timber Chain skill.
And cogs him in just with 1 creep. The Timber Chain comes through as well, and should be 1 more Timber Chain there, but I don't think it's enough to kill off Beast. And Dota the 2 will hold it for the time being, but secures the enemy bounty rune. Will grab his own for Mad as well.
Did that just happen? The Nature's Prophet planted a branch but didn't actually eat it, so Timbersaw went up and ate it. Now he's got the
easy double tango for the Timber. 10 stacks of reactive armor as well, so some free regen for him. Derp takes a little bit of damage bot lane, but he's a Lich and he has ice armor, so he'll be just fine. Big wave under the tower mid lane for Annihilate. He'll look to clean this up pretty quickly.
Yep.
Sentry Wars bottom lane. Silencer will finally pick one up of his own.
The Spirit Breaker's just been roaming around. I mean, there's no easy kill on the map for him. Puck's just going to phase shift the charge. I mean, if he does land a charge on the Puck, it'll be quite strong, but that is the predicted outcome of a gank onto the mid lane. And now, Clockwork coming in.
Just the
So
intimidation
close, so
battery
far.
assault.
Oh,
We'll actually cancel up the charge. That I've never seen. I think the charge bounces away most spells in the game before it actually gets hit by them. At least those that are near melee range. And now Fuzzy in a lot of trouble. Gets bashed up though. The curse is there as well. Last word and the TP in from the Prophet. Goodbye, Mad. That'll be first blood going the way of Beast.
Mad's a feeder, man.
Sometimes you gotta just be mindful of the Nature's Prophet on the other team, I suppose.
Yeah. And the bash, the 17%.
17% indeed. Monkeys though.
I mean, his battery salt like ran out at a really unfortunate time, so he couldn't actually finish the kill on Spirit Breaker. but I'm pretty sure if the battery assault kept going for like another 2 or 3 ticks, he definitely would have had that kill.
Monkey's looking to eclipse the level 4 and Meepo level 3 bottom lane.
Yeah. Actually,
he
can actually do pretty well against the spiders because he can clear them out. The problem is Broodmother's not going to let him just poof on top of the spiders, so
right.
Brink's gotta net them or maybe catch like an error from
Look how deep the Timbersaw is top lane. Dota 2. Almost at the tier 2 here. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, he's just one of those heroes that right clicks your tower all game long.
Potential
really
action bottom. There is net on Meepo and there's a charge coming in. Frost armor on the Broodmother as well.
They do have a sentry on the silencer. They will get the dust off. That comes through, but doesn't really catch anyone. And big poofs coming through from Brink. Fuzzy with the style points on the kill. 17%er. So the two just happily farming away top lane. 3 points in the reactive armor at level 5. Just tank the tower at this point.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet really wants to deal with this wagon wave. The Timbersaw to get easy tower damage. I mean, this is the siege creep meta right now. Playing around those siege creeps, and I think Broodmother's actually in a weird spot because now the Meepo can actually kill him. And I don't know if it was a little bit of mismanagement of the lane, but he definitely shouldn't be the same level as Brood when you have a Lich in the lane. So.
Oh, mid lane, they snap the coil on the Mirana, and one last tick of the battery assault. Will grab Matt a kill. He will end up feeding his life over for it. But certainly a nice kill for them to net, and it's a decent size commitment coming out from the Radiant to punish him for it. As you mentioned, the siege creep out top lane, and Dota 2 getting a little bit of damage done on this tower in the meantime. So about 65% HP for this tower, 6 minutes in, not too bad for this Timber. Meanwhile, bottom lane charge goes out onto Monkeys. They have a dust but won't choose to expend it here, as Brink was not necessarily in range. Beast beginning to cut the wave on his Prophet top, and mid lane Ionic going in for the kill on the Mirana, has an Arcane Rune, and Waning Rift will finish her off.
Will you not rise in my presence?
Oh. I think this tower is going to go down top. This is classic Timbersaw gameplay right here. 20 reactive armor stacks, siege creep. It's time to go.
Ad is stalking the Nature's Prophet as well. And Dota 2 will finish it off now. Beast could be in a little bit of trouble. Does have a teleport available. Going to be really hard to get off with the battery assault. Tries to bring his treants in close. Nice sprout. Will be able to keep him up for the time being, but doesn't have the mana even with the stick really to do much here. Can attempt a TPL, but it'll probably just be an optimistic one. And Dota 2 finishes him off with that level 2 chain.
That's a huge kill for Dota 2, or a huge sequence finally getting the tower and then getting the kill on the Nature's Prophet. Now he's sitting on 1.3k gold. Almost the highest net worth. Highest net worth being the Puck. Having an astounding game in the mid lane.
It certainly has exploited this. Got a matchup advantage in the mid lane in the presence of the clock early on. Really only needing the Lich to make bottom lane at least a wash, and then having a good 1v1 up top has really facilitated this early game for Annihilate. Monkeys, he's probably struggled a little more than we would have initially thought, but now starting to get some damage done. Now that the Timbersaw has become somewhat of a focal point, I can start to just beat away at this tower as the Meepo jungles.
Yeah, so Monkeys has been taking like most of these charges.
TP in from the Prophet bottom lane, gets the Nature's Wrath out as well, and connects almost on the last bounce, I want to say, on Dust Monkeys the Cursed. He makes it away. Frostblast is going to be there, and they will bring down Derp. Now looking to re-engage is Mad. This is a very tanky Spirit Breaker, though. Monkey's coming through, does have the mana available for a spawn Spiderlings. A couple of right clicks will actually kill off this Spirit Breaker. He's going to go in for it. Does not have the incapacitating bite. Charge comes out from Fuzzy Sloth, and he really doesn't have enough Spiderlings to bring him down. Now the sentries plot. Monkey's in trouble. Fuzzy Sloth nearby, and all 3 heroes will benefit here. Timbersaw, meanwhile, in the top lane, continuing to push forward, and we'll see if they want to deal with him. Nature's Prophet TP's right on top. Brink nearby with an Earthbind available.
Meanwhile, Annihilate doing a lot of tower damage. I mean, they're spending
Oh,
so many
Dota
resources.
the 2.
Oh,
I mean, you're right. They spend a lot of resources. He actually missed his timber chain and ended up dying for it. Had he connected on the trees there, would have made it out. So, unfortunate mishap there. But, and they get the denial in the mid lane, I was going to say. But, Annihilate brings it down. I mean, still, this is really great for them to be able to invade the Meepo's jungle. But a little bit of gold denied from Annihilate.
Could be a kill potential on this puck.
Does have the phase shift. Now has the orb, so should be okay to make it out here. Does towards the east. Mad still level 5, so no hook to reinitiate, but now the Timbersaw inbound mid lane. In the meantime, Monkey's dealing with bottom.
Dude, he's got a Radiance queued up on Brute. Big fan of that item build. I don't know if that's just a little overconfidence or if he actually thinks that's the item from this game, but pretty cool item selection.
Doing a lot of damage to this tower now,
So, like,
and no response.
even as Mind's Eye is getting these pickoffs on the map, I feel like Wheel is still getting slightly more. That being said, the Meepo is working on a blink now, and there's a lot of potential with that blink to start going for some key pickoffs. So
Fuzzy trying to defend the tower by himself. Bottom lane in. Essentially a death trap will be sprung here as Annihilate rotates over and finds a free kill. Monkey's alongside him and just picking up the hook shot now is Mad. Looking to get in onto the silencer. Orb is there. Waning Rift not even necessary. And now Brink rotating through with a Moonlight Shadow. This could be a big kill on Annihilate. Excuse me. He will get netted up and brought down. Timbersaw pushing in top lane. And all over the map, towers are just being pushed in as these kills are being found for Mind's Eye. Beast in trouble top lane as well. Whirling Death not skilled up just yet. So nuke potential. EP into the shrine as well from the Meepo. They were able to take down Dota the 2 not too long ago, but this time you will not be fooled.
Yep, global silence available as well, but doesn't look like they'll take this fight top.
He's pushing in the wave bottom slowly but surely. Now baiting out the Timbersaw. They don't have all their heroes nearby, but they do have a tower, and the ice armor on the Timber will make him a difficult kill. Frost Nova flies through, or Chain Frost I should say. Flies through, and now in the backlines, Annihilate jumping through, finds the Nature's Prophet, chain through, Brink. Oh, there is a global there. The arrow connects on the Timbersaw as well. They bring down the puck underneath the silence. Now Dota the 2, he's in trouble. He'll be brought down. Brink, though, does end up dying on the back end. Still, Monkeys Forever has not been able to aggress upon the tier 2 bottom just yet. And now Cogs going to be queued up here by Madbang. He actually gets bashed and out of the Cogs, which effectively saves him. Derp finds the kill with one flick of his card deck on the Sphere Breaker. Mirana finds a return kill. Now finally Monkey's doing some work on this bottom lane tier 2, and it is going to take a significant amount of damage in the downtime after that top engagement.
.mp4 Pause.mp4 Sorry, .jpeg Lagging, apology. It's okay.
The only a man like Baba Ganoush could say something so polite.
See, this is where Wheel pulls out the rule book. Like, you can only have 15 minutes of pauses per game. Pauses are determined by who initiates the pause.
Meepo level 13, so kind of on par for the course, shooting par for the course at this point.
He is top net worth, and he has a lot of easy. I mean, the puck can't actually, so you can't phase shift during the net. So
right.
Puck is pretty much dead if he gets netted at this point, and you really can't deal with it until I think a Yules helps you escape it. But
he went for the Veil first and had the has the blink queued up, so kind of peculiar considering versus a silencer and a Meepo, but
the puck helps you go for the Veil helps you. Obviously, the Yules would be more ideal, but I don't think he was predicting to be in this situation at this point. Now that Brink has a blink on the Meepo, and Broodmother Getting very close to the radius. I mean, that's going to be a really late game item. He's just going to be farming all game long, I believe.
Yeah, has completely occupied this bottom right quadrant of the map at this point, as Broodmothers tend to do in the offlane. Top lane setting up on a kill, maybe. Nature's Prophet nearby. They're going to pop the Moonlight Shadow to try and ensure Beast safety.
If Wheel can survive that initial burst from the Meepo somehow, like through 4 staffs, Yules, and whatnot, then they'll be okay in these fights because they have more than enough AoE to deal with the Meepo. And you know what I just noticed? There's a huge Ancient stack, and I don't know how they're going to clear this. Does Timbersaw kill Ancients?
Not really, no. I mean,
the Chakram is pure, but as far as I know, it doesn't actually hit the creeps correctly, but I could be wrong.
He's definitely not your traditional stack killer, but hey, you could always Ags Chain Frost, I guess.
I feel like someone was just bored in the jungle and was like, hey, I'm gonna go stack Ancients now. Maybe one day my Timbersaw will buy a Battle Fury.
Well, Radiance Broodmother, you can always go for it. Chakram gonna find these Treants top lane. Almost the entire lineup of Mind's Eye lurking around this area. Brink gonna go deal with this Broodmother bot, but maybe just a moment too short. We'll find some monies, as you mentioned, on the Spiderlings, but the Dire do find the tower, so Monkey's gonna be very content with that. He's got a Relic and Recipe flying out, it seems, yeah, for the Radiance. So 15-minute Radiance for this Broodmother, pretty darn good. They try to get the Prophet. They're gonna expend 2 ultimates there. And Beast will, by the bark of his staff, barely be able to make it out.
That is ours.
Shiny!
Nature's Prophet's actually my favorite hero, especially the removed teleport cooldown.
Or bounty runes instantly. Dude.
Maximum bounty rune acquisition. And then maximum, you just meme people, teleport in front of them, hit them twice, and TP in front of them again. Do you think Brink notices he's getting burned slightly at a time? I really wonder, like...
Alright, they're rotating through. He is backing out. He must know his blink is off cooldown. And
you don't just look at the enemy lineup and naturally think, hey, there's an invisible hero Radiant. And so, easy kill for Monkeys Forever. That Radiant's already paying off.
And Dota 2 meanwhile gets the last hit, or kills off the tower in the top lane. The Nile attempt is going to be a failed one from Alien Mana Banana. So all across the map, just feels like Wheel slowly taking the advantage here. Somehow Monkeys has pole vaulted to top on the net worth just a minute and a half after picking up that Radiance. Of course, that Meeple kill going to help out immensely in that endeavor, but either way is certainly cause for concern for the Radiant.
I think there's an important concept of Dota 2 being displayed here, is that like even if you get ganked constantly, if your team can make space for you at some point in the game, you'll always come back depending on you.
Jump forward, they are going to look to sell out on this Broodmother, but the hook shot from the north side is going to be able to keep her alive. Global still not buying enough time to kill off Monkey's Broodmother. Now with the Poos, they won't be able to do it. The Waning Rift from I Annihilate with that fresh Blink Dagger coming through. 5 hero wipes, selling out on the Broodmother, not even getting the kill. Nice counter initiation on the back end from I Annihilate there.
Monkeys Forever says, surviving with 0 HP items is too easy. Lives with like 50 HP. So.
Without the Meepo, they just didn't have nearly enough damage to kill off Monkeys.
Brood has a plus 350 health talent. What on earth?
At least it's level 15.
That's a lot of dang health.
Dota 2 just chilling. Deep behind enemy lines right now. 16 stacks of the armor.
IDC physical damage, he says.
And arrow just shy of connecting on the Timbersaw. They'll earn him up. Curse flies out. Spiderling's doing a lot of damage though. And I gonna jump forward. Needs one more right click. The Rocket Flare finishes off the Mirana. Nice jaunt out as well from I Annihilate. Brink taking a lot of damage here as a Chain Frost bounces through. And in pure NA Dota fashion, GG disconnect.
I mean,
Wheel.
sometimes you just get chain frosted within your 3 meeples. You just type GG, you just give up.
Well, weathering the meepo storm, and definitely felt like Brink was capable, and he had the right tools on his team as far as the global goes and the Spirit Breaker charge, but they didn't just seem to put it all together. It always felt like one hero was creating space for the one that was dying. On the wheel side, the Timbersaw was constantly pushing towers. Annihilate was even pushing in mid and had a fantastic start. And even though they killed off monkeys so many times, just save up for that radiance, boys and girls. You'll come back, I promise.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a little bit of a draft advantage. And most importantly, Wheel, they had 2 winning matchups in the Puck versus Marana and the Timber versus the Nature's Prophet. And so they really just focused on keeping their bot lane like break even. And they did that with the Lich, which is really easy. You just sit there and eat creeps. But also, Mind's Eye, they focused a lot of attention to the Broodmother, which is sort of, I can't say it's false, but they definitely should have. It was difficult for them to make moves on other lanes, actually. So definitely, I feel like something should have changed in their draft. I think the Marana was in sort of a losing matchup, and I think in general, they just sort of set themselves up to get Broodmother and Timbersawed. So really
you mentioned
well
kind of the Spirit Breaker wandering aimlessly in the early game too. It just didn't feel like he had a great target, and then they were committing multiple heroes to a meepo lane that was already being denied experience because of the Lich. So just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yep. Well played by Wheel.
Yeah, definitely. So they'll grab up the 2-0 here, guys, and that means they are going to move on to face DCNA tomorrow. The other match we'll be covering in North America ESL One Hamburg qualifiers will be Complexity versus PPD squad Team Dire. So that should also be very hype. All that starts tomorrow at 8 a.m. EDT. But don't worry, Franz, you don't have to come through for that one just yet. For you, it'll be about 10 PDT. So we'll be starting off CIS at that time with Vega versus Navi, and then the 2 NA matches I mentioned previously will follow. So a lot of good Dota to look forward to tomorrow, guys. Until then, I hope you enjoyed the cast. From myself, from Franz, and everyone here at ESL Enjoying Dota. We'll see you again tomorrow. You can follow us over on Twitter at MRPDota and at HelloFranz if you enjoyed the cast, and to keep up to date with when we'll be online. Until then, guys, this is us signing out. Hope you enjoyed.